me ask you a final question in the remaining 2 minutes we have. How do you think the Biden administration is doing in handling these problems? And just briefly, the 30-second version, what are the lessons that you think people ought to take away from this nightmare that we've lived through?
Well, the Biden administration has, outshone the Trump administration considerably in terms of exercising, federal government authority. Uh, for instance, the Trump administration, I gave them credit for the Operation Warp Speed, but they said that by the end of 2020 they would have 40 million Americans vaccinated, and at the end of 2020 they had 2 million. I think by their own metrics, that's a pretty fair evaluation of their efforts. And now, we hope to sometime this summer have 70% of Americans inoculated. That's a huge step forward. It leads the world, and I think that the Biden administration should get a lot of credit for it. Where we need to really concentrate is on building up our public health resources, making sure that we establish international authorities that can really have some sort of authority over epidemics that break out in countries like China, where many of these diseases emerge. There has to be some real agreement that when you have an outbreak like this, the world has an interest in knowing more about it. And unfortunately, in our situation right now, we don't have that kind of situation. We need far more regional health organizations who can spot diseases over the horizon and notify each other, share information. It's really the public health world is very fractured. And if we're taking one lesson out of this, I think we have to create an international health system that works for everybody and not just for highly developed countries, and it will break down barriers such as were exhibited by the Chinese this time around.